The spear is confirmed to be releasing on 5th of December, so here is everything I am doing to prepare for the most optimal and efficient way to gear it up on day 1. And if you don't plan on trying out the spear, then you can use all of this information to your advantage by making a lot of lucent. First, you will need the weapon itself. On this leaked data mined image, you can see all common, uncommon, rare and epic spear weapons. One of the spears will be dropping in Cursed Wasteland 1-star dungeon from Shaikal, and the other one I do believe could be Karnik's spear, as it is called the Deadman Beheading Spear. From World Boss, Junobot will probably be the absolute best, somewhat easy to obtain spear, while Queen Bellander will be the Arcpost spear. With that in mind, you will either want to pick up a Shaikal or Karnik spear first, depending on the stats. Shaikal could be focused more on perception, while Karnik's will 100% be focused on strength stats. For this, I have been saving up dimensional salvation essences, where you will need only 2 to craft a spear. I recommend stacking more of these dimensional salvation essences because you will need to unlock the traits, but if you don't want to play the spear, then use the essences to craft the spears, extract traits and sell them for lucent. On top of that, you want to stack all the 1-star dungeon tokens in chests containing these tokens, so you can craft and sell as many spears as you want, or use them to unlock and upgrade traits. Since we know that Junobot will drop the spear, I will also start stacking Junobot participation reward chests, as there is always a very small chance that you get the Junobot selection chest from there and you will be able to pick up the second best spear weapon in the game. On top of that, save up all the Abyss currency, as there is a likely chance that some epic spear might be available in one of the chests, which could serve as a better option than the 1-star dungeon spears. When you unlock the spear, you will have 2 options. If you plan on fully committing and playing the spear, then simply transfer your fully traded main weapon into spear, get it to +9 and obtain 1320 blessing. But I would recommend you treat the spear for now as a 3rd weapon, and if you have enough growth stones, to level it up to +9 manually. When it comes to blessing, you can start fail stacking blessing on any purple weapon, where you will need 4500 blessings to upgrade all 3 traits to the max with only blue items. Since we are stacking these dungeon tokens, it means that we can use them to craft trait unlock stones, or use the ones we have been stacking to open 2 slots on the spear. But I would go the cheaper option and try to craft the spears with traits you need to unlock them that way and save unlock stones for once you get the Junobot spear. I have several purple weapons stacked up with heavy attack, crit hit and hit chance traits, so upgrading the traits on the spear will be very cheap, and I don't plan on stacking the blessing since I will transfer one of my 2 bows into the spear and keep the other bow as a 3rd weapon. Now that your spear is +9 fully traded, it's time for skills. You have 2 choices again. If you plan on fully committing to spear, then use the skill conversion books that you should have 24 of them, if you haven't done any swapping before, but you can obtain them in Battle Pass Star Shop. Then simply use these books to transfer the skills from your current main weapon into the spear skills. But before that, be sure to know which skills you will want to use, as you do not want to swap every single skill. The second and more recommended way is to keep your main weapon skills as they are and just slowly upgrade spear skills to level 1 purple. This will be enough for you to test the weapon properly and decide if the spear is for you without wasting any resources. Now that your spear skills are changed and upgraded, it's time to get the mastery level as high as possible. I have been preparing for mastery level the most, as everything else is easy to obtain and upgrade, but mastery requires actual start from 0. If I did the math right, I should have level 11 or level 12 spear on day 1 of the release. First, I am stacking up both 1-star and 2-star dimensional tokens, keeping them right at 3600. Since 4500 is the limit, I keep using 900 tokens, so the next day I have it back at 4500, meaning on the 5th of December I will have both of them at 4500. The reason for that is that the dungeons drop training dues, which level up your mastery. 1-star dungeons drop 6 training dues per run, and 2-star dungeons drop 10 training dues per run. With 4500 tokens, it means I will have 190 training dues. On top of that, in Battle Pass Star Shop there are additional 1500 1-star tokens, which means additional 20 training dues, putting it up to 210. I am also saving up 60 resistant contracts every day and only completing 10 per day to not go above the limit. Focus on grabbing parchments as rewards so you can upgrade the skills on Spear or any other weapon. On the last day before Spear release, I will only do one contract, leaving it at 59, and then the next day after the reset it will regenerate 10, putting you over the limit at 69 resistance contracts. Unfortunately, I had to use the 50 contracts from the Star Shop, but if you haven't, that is also going to unlock additional resistance contracts. And they are very important because one contract gives 4 training dues. With 119 resistance contracts completed, you will end up with 476 training dues, adding 210 from dungeons, totaling up to 686 training dues. But that is not all. Each week at the Sundry's Merchant, you can buy 3 contract scrolls for Tatel Tower. If you are stacking these up from last week, this week and the next week, you can have 9 Tatel Tower scrolls, and each scroll gives 28 training dues, meaning additional 252 on top of 686 makes it 938 training dues. But wait, there is more. If you haven't fully completed any of these 5 region codexes, completing each gives you 50 training dues as a reward. All 5 of them will have the dynamic event quest to complete, which could take some time, but that is additional 250 training dues, totaling up to 1188. And lastly, there will be 2 Gate of Infinity bosses releasing on day 1 of Spear, and completing it gives 50 training dues, totaling up to 1238. If you do the math, where 1 training due gives 10,000 weapon mastery experience, you end up with 12,380,000 weapon experience, which according to this spreadsheet would put you at almost level 10 just from training dues. Next, I am saving up 20,000 Abyss contract tokens, as burning these tokens is the best way to level up weapon mastery. First, on day 1 of Spear release, after crafting and upgrading the weapon, I will be burning 20,000 tokens. Then I will complete all the dungeon runs and I will complete 69 resistance contracts, which will regenerate Abyss contract tokens. Then I will burn those regenerated Abyss contract tokens. The most important thing is that you will need weapon mastery food. In Battle Pass Star Shop, make sure you buy few of mastery report items, as this gives 30% weapon mastery for 60 minutes. But the best part is that it stacks with the golden apple pie food, which gives additional 50% weapon mastery experience, meaning you can burn tokens while having 80% weapon mastery increase. Also in the Star Shop, make sure you buy the 7 Abyss contract token scrolls, which will make the token burning even better. With everything almost set, the last 2 things you will need is skill specialization build for PvE, small scale, large scale PvP, AoE farming and Gate of Infinity, as well as a gear build. On the link in the description you will be able to find all of the skill builds and gear builds after the Spear is released. This is a different link than my Longbow Dagger builds, so make sure you are bookmarking this link for all the new and updated information and changes for skill builds and gear builds that are related to Spear Dagger only, as this is what I will be playing. Right now I have made a gear build that will potentially be the best for Spear Dagger, as it is almost identical to Greatsword Dagger. And since I do believe that Spear will be a strength oriented weapon just like Greatsword, it will probably work. In the gear build I am using Karnik's bow as a placeholder, as it has the stats I do believe Spear will also have. Using 2-set Field General for melee heavy attack chance, as Spear will have passives increasing heavy attack chance, and a 2-set Shadow Harvester for critical damage, as Spear plus Dagger both have critical hit and critical damage increase passives. A helmet that gives both critical hit and hit chance is still the best helmet in the game for many DPS classes, while the accessories are focused on attack speed, strength, max health and stun chance, with the Tapestry Cloak being the best for PvP due to evasion. Traits used are the usual stacking range and magic evasion with max health, attack speed, move speed, magic endurance as a third depending on the gear piece. This build gives over 17,000 HP and 470 melee heavy attack chance as a base. But like I said, this might not be the final gear build. I will be doing experiments and testing different skill builds, so make sure you bookmark the link so you have easy access to all the updates. Once I'm happy with all the builds, I will make a proper detailed video guide as well. This is pretty much everything I have been preparing for the potential swap to Spear Dagger. I will keep the Longbow as a third weapon, and I will keep on updating Longbow Dagger builds on the old link. There is also a potential I make builds and guides for Longbow Spear, but I do really want to play a melee playstyle. If you have any other suggestions and things I have missed out, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on the Spear Dagger content, and watch some of my other videos appearing on your screen.